What up YouTube, Salvador Brinkman here. Welcome back to the Crowdfunding Demystified YouTube channel, and today we're talking about equity crowdfunding and specifically the best websites out there for you if you are interested in getting funding for your business or your startup company and you want to use equity crowdfunding to do that. Which website should you be checking out? And it's kind of a hard question because I'll get this question, they'll be like, Sal, what is the best website out there for equity crowdfunding? And the reason why that's a difficult question is because there are different forms of equity crowdfunding. You have a regulation CF or a regulation crowdfunding raise. You have a regulation A+ raise, you have regulation D, and there are very different components to all of these. I actually have a really great YouTube video where I go into the various types of equity crowdfunding way more in depth and the differences between them, the pros and the cons. So if you're interested in that, I can link you up down below to that video on equity crowdfunding. But that being said, I wanna hone in here on this question. When we think of crowdfunding, think of rewards-based crowdfunding, we usually think of like a hallmark website like Kickstarter, because Kickstarter, without a doubt, has the most funding volume. It is the most popular in the rewards-based space, and therefore, I guess in most people's eyes, the best platform out there. It doesn't really exist in that same way when it comes to equity crowdfunding, but what we find is that there are platforms that definitely are the leader of the pack in these different individual funding types. So for regulation CF or regulation crowdfunding, I think it's pretty undeniable that WeFunder has done an amazing job, and in terms of funding volume, they are the leader of the pack. Of course, there are some other ones out there. You can use like Seedinvest. Indiegogo also has a great component of equity crowdfunding with their own platform using micro ventures to enable that. But I think it's pretty clear WeFunder has done an amazing job when it comes to regulation crowdfunding. Now, when looking at regulation A+, the websites and the platforms that tend to come to my mind, the number one that sort of rises to the top is StartEngine. And I've had StartEngine on my podcast a number of times. They had a very successful campaign, the Elio Motors campaign, which raised millions of dollars for this entirely new electric car. So they've done a great job as branding themselves as one of the go-to platforms for regulation A+ style campaigns. But of course, there are also other platforms out there that do engage in regulation A+. And one kind of like funny side trajectory here is that regulation A+ is actually used a lot by real estate crowdfunding websites. So if you go in and you actually look at the statistics, you look at who's actually doing these offerings, where the funding is coming from, you might actually find that real estate crowdfunding is one of the major reasons or one of the major types of offerings under this new regulation A+ rules. So actually, I have a video explaining more of that. I don't think that's as much applicable to you, but it's something interesting to take of note. Like websites like Fundrise actually contribute to a lot of funding volume when it comes to regulation A+. And of course, then you have regulation D. You have the way that startups and people traditionally fund companies using angel investors, using accredited investors to get the word out there, and to also, I guess not to get the word out there, but to get funding for your project and in that way grow your business. So with regulation D, you might come and you might think of some websites like Angel Invest. You might think of websites like Circle Up, like Fundable, Funders Club, etc. So as you can see, there are different types of equity crowdfunding, and depending on the niche or the regulations that you're using, that is going to impact which website is best in your eyes. To give you just a very simple list here of ones that you can check out, I would recommend looking into WeFunder. I would then look into Seedinvest. You could look into, if you're more interested in regulation A+, StartEngine. You could look into AngelList. That's like a major one out there using syndicates to actually get funding. You could also look into Funders Club, Fundable, etc. So just by Googling around, you can actually come and find many of these different equity crowdfunding websites, but just to keep in mind that they are going to vary depending on which actual type of funding that you're looking to do. So to make this a lot easier, I will be linking down below to an article with the major websites out there and the major platforms that you can check out. But in addition, I am going to be putting together a complete book, a complete guide on equity crowdfunding. This is going to be Equity Crowdfunding Explained. I'm going to reveal everything when it comes to not only what are the major websites, not only how can you attract investors, but also if you're trying to get in on the ground floor and really get people to take interest in your business, to support it, to market it effectively, I want to get into all of that, and I'm currently writing this book now. So if you're interested in hearing about that, when I do come out with this book later, should be in a couple of months, you can check out the link below, which will take you to a simple form where you can enter your email address and you can be notified when I come out with this new book. It goes into all the nitty-gritty details when it comes to the rules, the things that you need to know, the differences between these different regulations, etc. It's very nitty-gritty. So if you're interested in that and you really want to do one of these financial raises, you can go and check that out in the description down below. Again, my name is Salvador Brigman. I hope you found this video to be helpful. You have at least a few leads now. You can go and check out some other websites and resources. You can bounce around a little bit more about some of the platforms that are out there, and also some of the reviews of those platforms that are out there. So I hope you found this video to be helpful. If you did, give me a thumbs up. Let me know. That's the only way that I'm going to know. Also, if you have any questions, feel free to leave it in the comments down below. And finally, if you want more videos like this, take a second to subscribe. It literally takes 2 seconds. Hit the little bell icon so you'll get a notification when new videos come out. They're free to consume. I always invite questions in the comments. And also, I'll let you know about new resources that you can use as you're going out there and trying to raise money from the crowd.